instant, 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 instant. Instant, 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 instant. Instant, instant,
Hello.
instant, 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 instant.
Thanks for tuning in. We're going to get
Instant.
started here in about 3 minutes. Top of
Instant.
the hour.
Instant, 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 instant. Instant, 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 instant. Instant, 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 instant. Instant, 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 instant.
Hello, and thank you for tuning in to my first live stream of 2022. Today, I'm going to be playing and sharing stories about Selected Clodewerks, which was my first release that came out in the summer of 2011. It was a interesting time in my life. I had just graduated from the University of Oregon and had some songs and wanted to go out in the world. And that first summer was a little rough for me. Couldn't find a job. The good thing was I found Ben and we started Waffle Taco, and I got to play out. It was funny because the first show I played in Portland was at the Waypost up in North Portland, and it was with like a drone group from South Carolina, I think. And nobody showed up, and it was one of those gigs where I was all excited to be out in the world and playing, and it ended up being a sad gig. But the funny part about it is that a few years later, when Portlandia came out, they had a sketch that was the whole premise. Like, somebody was playing at the Waypost too, and nobody was there listening because they were doing too weird of stuff. So I'm really happy, looking back over the 10 years to come from that to some of the shows that I've played and things I've been able to do. So that's really cool. And now that was a big part of me choosing this as the topic for my stream. And if I wanted to be more on the ball, I should have done it in the summer, but in the summer, I don't want to be in the basement. I want to be out. We had Waffle Taco played out. I mean, I even played in my front yard solo. The weather was nice. That was, it was safer to gather outside. Let's go outside. And there's not as good Wi-Fi outside to stream. So, but I'm excited to be sharing some music with you. So that first intro music you heard is actually the second on the EP, and it is called Instant. And the story behind that song, let's see if I can, is my good friend is a game developer, and he was working on a project for school and wanted a soundtrack to it. And I made that. The premise of the game is you scroll around and collect letters. Hey, thanks for joining me. You scroll around and collect letters from the alphabet. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was other than that. The problem is I actually found a link to it too. I'll share it, but it's a Flash game, so like nothing who supports Flash anymore? Anyways, moving on, I'm gonna play what is the first song on the album, second here, because I'm gonna play it live, and this is called Render. And I'm gonna switch over to Cam 2 to do that.
Instant.
Hello. That was Render. So next is what I would consider the single from my first EP, um, and I'm trying to think how I got to the name of it. I had to do it. I played it. I actually played a lot of these. I actually played, well, not a lot of these. Three of them, 3 of the 8 on the EP, I played for jury pieces in music school, and I this was one of them. And talking with my professor, we wanted it to sound cool, and we decided to call it. Thanks, Sarah. Seems like preschool would be a good market for me. um, but anyways, the next one we wanted to call. I wanted it to be cool, so we decided to call it Mint Berry Slush, um, because that sounded like something that was cool and refreshing. And I'm not going to actually. I have it dialed in here as a backing track, but I've been working on doing it as just with the looper and me, and no extra stuff. So I'm going to do that for you. So it's a little bit different. And if you like what you hear, you can check out the recording. It's up on Bandcamp. I think it's streaming on all the major streaming places too. I can't remember. But Bandcamp is the place that's nicest to the artist. So I always recommend checking out there first. So this is Mintberry Slush from Selected Clodewerks. Mint Slush. I think that's one of my favorite songs that I've recorded. Um, the recording of it is really cool, and it's a lot better than a lot of my recordings because I was at school, and when I was working on it, I was taking the recording class, and I got to borrow some really nice mics from the instructor and got to record. Some of it was in the class, and we did it as like a studio session, whereas a lot of the rest of it was just recorded in my apartment at the time. So nothing like trumpet on some very fancy ribbon mics that cost more than the trumpet. Okay, so let's see what's next. I'm still figuring out my setup here. It's hard because there's a wall right here, and I don't want to move the piano around to just do streaming and camera angles and computer angles. And I got a new computer. I had to that's what I was gonna do this last week, but I got a new computer and I had to reinstall everything. And like, man, I was trying to do a dry run yesterday of this, and every 3 minutes I was like, oh, I need to go download that, or oh, I need to go install that. So, but it's coming together. So the next one is called, the next one is Logic. And that is another school inspired one. Because I took a course on, I think it was, I had to take an intro to DAW. I mean, I'd been using Pro Tools for years at the time, and I use Ableton all the time now. But I had to take an intro to digital audio workstations, the like recording software, and we had to use Logic because that's what was installed in all the Macs in the computer lab. And one of my favorite things to do with recording software is like try to break it, kind of like see if I can screw around with it and see, So one of the things I really like to do is a lot of them nowadays have a function where you can slow things down with keeping it in the same pitch. And there's a combo of technologies. A lot of them just use like granular synthesis to kind of do that. So this recording is a guitar sample that we were using in one of our projects there, and I have slowed it down. It's like a 2-second guitar or maybe like an 8-bar guitar loop, and I slowed it down to be like a minute long. And that's why this is called Logic and doesn't have any trumpet, so I'm just going to play it for you. I'll set a mood too. Yeah, Logic, made in Logic. So the next one it accidentally started playing a little bit of is another one of those jury pieces that I did. And this one I did my senior year, the last quarter of my senior year, because the music school, as part of their graduation ceremony, they have a concert, which makes a lot of sense, because everybody there is a musician, and they choose a handful of students to present something. And I got to play at my own graduation, which was kind of a bizarre experience. And I played this piece I'm about to play. So that, like usually you finish your finals and you're all excited to graduate, and that seemed too easy to me, I guess, and I decided to add like a performance in front of all of my peers and professors, and I think it went pretty well. It was back in the age of crappy phones, so I only have like a really crappy like flip phone video recording that's like however many pixels. You can kind of hear it, but it's one it was one of the first ones I loaded into my looper. It's one I play out all the time. It's one I really enjoy, and it's called Week One, and I'm gonna play it for you now. Yeah. It's hard for me to not play St. James Infirmary after that because that's the way my setup's been for a little bit. But yeah, that one's fun. I love the sounds I got out of the horn in the loops. The loops are like the timing is very specific with I mean all loops are like that, but I feel like with this one I always like if I don't play it for a few months, I have to come back and be like, "Oh, when do I press this? When do I press this?" To get it exactly right. So, that is week 1. Uh the next one is is called Nothing's Happening. And when you're recording, especially with like Ableton and sampling all the technology out there, like you can use whatever to make any sound. And I like to play around with that on the computer a lot. And that's kind of where the this next one comes from. And the other half is I'm a fairly snarky person and tend to torment my wife. So this one, if you listen really carefully, you can hear both of our voices. And I think I was recording Tia, and she was thinking I was doing something on my computer, and I said nothing's happening, and she said you lie. Um, so that's the lyrics, as it were. And yeah, I don't know what the other noises are. There's some other words. Probably her saying like cut it out or something. But here is that. And it's another one that's just me experimental recording doing weird things. So I am going to set a mood and play for you. Yeah, that's a fun one. Um, Sorry, I'm clicking on too many things. But it's always fun to take something that seems pretty mundane, like just having a conversation, sitting in the room, and do something fun with it and turn it into something completely different. And that's the beauty of electronic music is the world is your oyster, and an oyster could make a very nice snare if you messed with it enough. Um, yeah, I got one more for you. This one, I listened back to most of this EP, and I'm like, I've learned a lot in 10 years, and some of these things I still think sound really cool. A couple of them I'm like, if I were to redo it today, I would have made some different decisions or done things a little differently. Um, and then this next one, I was like, what what was I thinking? Um, and I didn't remember playing it for a jury, but apparently I did, and I don't know. I'm gonna play it. I got the backing track from when I did it as a jury, so I'm just gonna play it. The recording, if you check it out, has lyrics to it, which if you know anything about my music, lyrics are a rarity. Um, it's spoken word too. Don't get too excited. I'm not not busting out the pipes for that, but yeah, I'm like, what? The lyrics, I think I just like intentionally made them as weird as possible. And I was in music school, so like the chords and stuff are a little more highfalutin than I'm used to. But I've been practicing a little bit, so I will share that with you. And if you think it sounds interesting, you can hear it. You can hear it on the EP. Yeah, and if you go over to Bandcamp to look at some of my music, if you haven't, this EP, the Selected Clodewerks, is pay what you want. It's been out there for 10 years, so at this point, if you want to listen to it, that'd be great. Um, and I also have a deal where you can get my whole discography for 50% off, which I've only released a few things as solo. Um, so that amounts to about 850. So you can get Selected Clodewerks, Clodewerks 2, Fishworks, Santa Works, the holiday album, all for 50% off. I feel like there's another one I forgot, but you'll at least get those. Speaking of albums, where did I put it? Things are all over the place. Speaking of albums, a lot of what I've been doing this year, since my last stream, which was the Christmas one, we've, excuse me, with Omicron, the rehearsals kind of stopped, and I had time just down here, with myself to reflect on things and organize things. And one of the things that Waffle Taco had been talking about for a long time was we have a collection of a bunch of recordings, and we just needed to release them. And when we weren't able to get together, I thought now's the time. We can send emails, we can coordinate on the track list and the artwork and blah 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 blah, all the exciting stuff that comes after the actual fun part of recording the music, the logistical part. But the upside of that is we have an album coming out in March. It's called Ephemeral Graffiti, and it has all the songs that we've been playing live, which I don't think a lot of them were recorded before. So people enjoy our live show, and this is kind of reflective of that, which is cool. And that is coming out March 11th. It's coming out March 11th, and on the 15th we're having a show at No Fun to celebrate that. And I think No Fun just made the Facebook group while I was streaming here. But yeah, on the 15th at 7 at No Fun in Southeast Portland, we're going to be doing a show for this release, but we're we're excited to have a show. So we're bringing in a bunch of friends. I'm actually going to be playing a 20-minute set to kick it off at 7, and then Waffle Taco's playing, and then Run Home Slow, which is Andrew's group, which is funky, and then we're playing with Brandon Lee Searley, who I have not met before, but we have talked online, and his music seems cool. So it's always fun to go to shows and meet people and talk to new people and listen to new music. So that show, yeah, March 15th, put it in your calendars. And I have to figure out what I'm going to be playing. I'm probably going to play that version of Mintberry Slush I played for y'all. Okay, I feel like I'm rambling at this point. Let's get back to some music. So this last one's called Hope.
The music you are listening to is completely electronic and has been created and produced on equipment designed and manufactured by
Clodewerks Productions.
Hope. Yeah, check out the recording, Apple Teeny. That's the only hint I'll give. So that is about it for Selected Clodewerks, the 10-year celebration. I'm glad that you were able to join me and watch this. And if you like what you hear, again, Bandcamp or all of your favorite streaming services should have. I should probably Google and confirm. did I forget? Oh, I have an album out there called Clodewerks. That's all the stuff I recorded last year when I did a track for every month. That was what I was forgetting. Okay, yeah. It's on Spotify. It's on all of them. I set that up and so long ago I forgot about it. Yeah, check it out. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to like, subscribe, whatever buttons on the YouTubes or Facebooks or Instagrams. And I will see you again for another stream shortly. It'll probably be in a couple months because we got the big album release and I'll be playing at it coming up. And I'll leave you with the outro from the album.